Breaking. New evidence has emerged in the fatal Minneapolis ICE shooting that has captivated national attention. On January 7, 2026, a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE agent shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good during an operation in South Minneapolis. New cell phone video footage has now surfaced showing the moments leading up to the shooting, a development that is fueling intense debate over what exactly happened and whether the use of deadly force was justified. The new video, reportedly taken from the ICE officer's own cell phone, provides a previously unseen perspective of the incident. It begins as the agent exits his vehicle and approaches Good's maroon SUV, which appears partially stopped in the street. The officer circles the vehicle and speaks with Good and another person nearby just before the encounter escalates. This footage was reposted by federal officials on social media, adding a controversial new element to how the incident is portrayed. In the video, Good can be heard saying, "That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you," as the ICE agent films the vehicle and checks the license plate. Moments later, another agent approaches and appears to order Good to exit the car. Seconds after this interaction, the vehicle moves and 3 shots are heard. The video then shows the SUV driving away rapidly and crashing into a parked vehicle. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, and other federal authorities have defended the agent's actions, claiming the footage corroborates their account that Good weaponized her vehicle by driving toward officers. DHS spokespersons and Vice President J.D. Vance have described the shooting as a necessary act of self-defense to protect the officer and others present, arguing the new video shows Good's vehicle posing a threat. However, local leaders and critics strongly dispute the federal portrayal. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey has publicly dismissed the self-defense narrative, calling it misleading after viewing the footage. Frey argues the video does not show Good intentionally trying to harm the agent and described the federal interpretation as a political spin rather than an accurate reflection of what occurred. Mayor Frey and other local officials have demanded greater transparency and a fully independent review of all evidence. They claim the existing video does not conclusively demonstrate imminent danger, and they question whether the officer had other options to de-escalate without lethal force. Frey's statements have amplified public skepticism about the federal explanation. The shooting has sparked widespread protests in Minneapolis and across the United States. Demonstrators have rallied under banners like "ICE out for Good," calling for accountability and an end to aggressive immigration enforcement tactics. The release of the new footage has intensified these demonstrations, with many protesters arguing that the video disproves claims of a justified use of deadly force. In multiple cities, including New York, Portland, and throughout Minnesota, protesters have taken to the streets. Though many demonstrations have been peaceful, tensions have flared in some areas, prompting local authorities to deploy additional law enforcement to manage crowds and protect public safety. The Minneapolis Police Department has emphasized the importance of peaceful protest amid emotionally charged gatherings. Renee Good, described as a mother and community member, was reportedly acting in a nonviolent role near the ICE operation when the confrontation occurred. According to some accounts, she was present as a legal observer intended to monitor federal actions and help de-escalate tensions. Supporters have emphasized her peaceful intentions prior to the shooting. Legal experts analyzing the new video have offered differing interpretations. Some argue the footage raises legitimate questions about whether the agent was truly in immediate danger, while others suggest law enforcement personnel have the right to defend themselves when confronted by a vehicle in close proximity. These conflicting assessments underscore the complexity of the case and the challenges in interpreting limited video evidence. In addition to the cell phone video, other clips captured by bystanders and nearby residents continue to circulate online. These additional perspectives have been scrutinized by media outlets and independent analysts, often showing slightly different angles and timelines, which complicates forming a clear and unified narrative about the incident. Adding to the controversy, Minnesota authorities say they have been restricted from accessing all evidence after the FBI took over federal investigation. State investigators, including officials from the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, say they were cut out of portions of the case, limiting their ability to independently review forensic details and witness interviews. Hennepin County and the Minnesota Attorney General's office have responded by creating public portals to collect additional footage and eyewitness accounts directly from residents. These efforts aim to ensure that all available evidence becomes part of a broader review, even if not fully shared by federal authorities. The political reaction has been sharply divided. National leaders supportive of strict immigration policies have defended the ICE agent and criticized critics of the shooting, while Democratic lawmakers and civil rights groups have called for independent investigations and systemic reform. The incident has become a flashpoint in ongoing debates about immigration enforcement and law enforcement accountability. The multimedia narrative around the incident has also become a battleground for accuracy and misinformation. Some posts circulating online falsely claim details about the shooter or specifics of the incident that are not supported by verified evidence. Fact-checking organizations and journalists continue working to separate confirmed facts from speculation. Family members and activists have called for justice and accountability, alleging the shooting was unjustified. They have organized vigils, raised funds for legal challenges, and urged federal and state authorities to cooperate fully and transparently in the investigation. Many advocates emphasize the need for structural changes to how federal immigration operations are conducted in local communities. Minneapolis city leaders continue to focus on community healing and safety, urging protests to remain peaceful while also supporting calls for clarity and justice. Memorials and public gatherings have served as focal points for collective grief and discussion about the broader implications of the shooting on trust between federal agents and local communities. With the release of new video evidence, the Minneapolis ICE shooting remains at the center of national scrutiny and debate. Investigations are ongoing, protests persist, and policymakers are weighing potential reforms. As more footage and testimony surface, the nation watches closely for answers and for accountability. In a case that continues to polarize and provoke urgent questions about law enforcement and the use of deadly force.